Hello, welcome back guys to the channel. For this video, we will continue to look at the Marvel Legends series from the Build-A-Figure Marvel Sentinel set. This is the X-Men House of X Omega Sentinel, Marvel's Omega Sentinel. So this character I'm not really particularly knowledgeable about. I know what I remember is I guess it reaches far back to the time that I stopped reading X-Men. I think that was around the time of Zero Tolerance, Bastion, and his Sentinels. Um, she's one of the humans that were turned into Sentinels by Bastion. That's all I know about her. I've seen her in some of the X-Men arcs that I have sporadically read while I was really not into comics. Well, I have been always into comics, but there are times that I would um, refrain from buying and reading stuff because of reading fatigue or some sort of that. I get those cycles of fatigue of reading certain books, and sometimes you just buy the issues out of habit, and I guess during that time I stopped, really stopped buying, since I, if you're not reading it, why buy it? So around that time, I that was around the I guess that was the during supernovas, if I remember. Anyway, the rise and fall of the Shi'ar Empire. I think she was there. So this is the House of X, Marvel's Omega Sentinel. Sorry for the ramble. Let's take a look at the packaging. Nice product window. You could see everything that you will be getting. It contains the torso and the hip area of the Tri Sentinel. Also, yeah, the character looks really nice. I think this is more in line with Chris Bachalo's design. I'm not sure. At the side is an illustration by House of X artist Pepe Larraz. Very nice. Very dynamic. The style is so different from what it's kind of a mix of the modern comic book look and a bit of the 90s hyper detail and stylized drawing. So it's a nice mix. It's a very nice aesthetic. I'm quite glad that he is doing X-Men. Is he still doing X-Men? I'm not. I'm in a rut cycle again, so I'm not really buying comics. I would buy here and there some digital copies through Comixology, but I haven't really bought any single issues for such a long time. A couple of trades here and there if I like the artwork. Mostly, I'm resetting my 90s collection. If I find key issues that I have a bad copy of, or if I find a nice looking set of arcs from the 90s, I buy that. Anyway, back to the toy. At the back, it says here, harnessing the power of enhanced sensors, flight, and nanite regeneration, the Omega Sentinel dispatches enemies with ease. Also included in the back is the product shot of the Build-A-Figure, the Tri-Sentinel, and the other figures that you need to get to complete the said figure. So enough about the packaging. Let's open the box and take a closer look at the figure itself. So here we have her outside of her packaging, and I must say that the sculpt on the face is really striking. It's one of the things that I've noticed when I unboxed her. Yeah, I really like the sculpt of the face. Thankful that the paint applications are not sloppy. All of the pipings are painted nicely. not much smudging or anything. There are a bit of pipings that are not as sharp as I would like them, and there are um, instances, especially here around the waist, that there has that the paint has not gone through all throughout, and white is peeking through the red paint application. But, yeah, but I'm not really that anal with the paint jobs as long as it looks um, nice enough. Long, no, nothing that glaring that you could see. I'm okay with it. Uh, so the figure is okay. Sorry. Yeah, she has small feet. Yeah. So okay. The figure stands nicely on its own. Comes with several accessories, an alternate head. This is the head that I have seen in what I was rambling about in the intro. Um, what was her name? Karima? Karima Shapendar? Yeah, if I remember correctly, she was an Indian policewoman or something. That's as much of a recollection I can muster for the character. What else? She was possessed by malice at some point. Oh, and then she was hanging around with the X-Men at one point as well. Yeah. The X-Men's rogues gallery, the villains, the X-Men are often fighting with, have this gray blurry area. Sometimes they change sides, so sometimes they became X-Men themselves, and then they clash and they turn into villains again, then they turn into heroes, then they turn into uh yeah. So yeah, the X-Men are a complex lot. Um so since that's my only knowledge about the character, I think this is I see a lot of aesthetic cues that were used by Chris Bachalo. Um, the piping, the void, the what do you call that? Absent, the negative space used, the white, um, very nice, um, artistic, stylistic designs by Chris Bachalo is that he uses a lot of negative space in his design. So a lot of flat blacks, a lot of flat whites, and I see that in this character. I'm not really sure who designed this character, but I see a lot of the visual cues, especially in that red and black X Visor Cyclops run, which was I believe designed by Chris Bachalo. You could see the piping, negative space white, and then hyper detailed arms. So the figure comes with two heads. This bald head, which I said very striking, very nicely sculpted head, and a head with a mask and hair. I think this is the one wherein she was um, possessed by Malice. Yeah, Malice was also Polaris, right? Keep forgetting. Okay. She also comes with two nice gun arms. Uh, to use them, you could see that you just pop her forearms off and then place either of the two. I'll pop the other one. And the figure would come flying. And then, very nice, actually. Kind of reminds me of Super Patriot. If you are familiar with that character, it's a 90s character created by Eric Larson. I'm not really sure if he was the one that popularized having a cybernetic gun arms. But I remember Dave Johnson's rendition of Super Patriot, which I really dig. Very nice visual, stylistic representation of the character. One of the characters that I like from Mr. Eric Larson. So, the gun arms here, quite reminiscent of that character. Both are cybernetic characters. Very nice. This figure, let's take a look at its articulation. The head is on a ball joint on a hinge that can allow it to look down, look up, and the ball joint allows a bit of motion for the head, sideways motion. Not that much though, so yeah, just a bit of a wiggle there. The upper torso is connected to the lower torso via a ball joint, so there is a bit of a side to side motion going there, as well as rotation. It does not have a waist rotation, so in any torso rotation, you would have to do that for the upper torso. Her shoulders allow her to raise her hands sideways as much. This is a very nice figure, actually. I think this is one of my favorites from the line. Yeah, sorry about this. Let's put the camera on. Okay. The design, like I said, is very nice. This is also one of my design cues that I use when I'm designing characters. A lot of flat negative space, because that would be easier to draw. And then you add a lot of details either on the arms or if pouches and other sort of things. Again. And then pipings, a lot of pipings. This is also done by the King, Jack Kirby. So yeah, if it has worked for so many years and it always looks good, either in illustration and it also looks good in toy form. For her hips, she can do the split that much, okay, and she can raise her leg that much. There is a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. There is no swivel on the boot cut, and she can point her foot down and raise it up as well. This is a pretty white figure, so if you are going to store them in your shelves, make sure your shelf is contained or it is a clean room, because I'm pretty sure that this white figure will be yellow in no time. For her arms, there is no bicep swivel, but there is a swivel at the elbow joint. There is a singular bend at the elbow, but it goes both sides. See, it's okay. She's a robot. She can do that. No other rotation in her gun arms. So, yeah. But for her regular human-like hands, there is a rotation at the wrist, and there is an inward and outward motion for her palms, for her hands. Same singular bend at the elbow. That goes with both arms, forearms. The other hand has an open palm, and the other one is a closed fist. So there you have it. The alternate head, which is beautifully sculpted. I like the sculpt of the hair. Though I am already assuming that once she places this on her head, on her neck, it would be it would limit the articulation of. As you can see, that's the ball joint with the hinge on the neck allows. There is a soft ratchet there. So when we place this in, you already know that head rotation would be a bit more limited because of her um, wild ponytails. This is a very nice figure. One of my favorites from the set. And that's it. That's my look at this figure. Karima Shapendor, Marvel's Omega Sentinel from the Marvel Legends series, Tri-Sentinel set, House of X. Very nice figure. I like it. It's a unique looking figure. Okay. Also comes, yeah, I forgot to mention, it comes with the Tri-Sentinel torso and hips, which we will take a look at when we put the Tri-Sentinel together. So thank you guys for watching. Uh, please do leave a like. If you have comments, questions, and suggestions, please do type them down below. And if you are so inclined, please do subscribe to the channel. We're closing to 300 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching whatever insane thing I'm videoing. Mostly it's just this toys, but maybe we'll go back to Filipino comics soon. Um, yeah. So thank you for watching, guys, and see you at the next video.